Hi there, and welcome to the first in a new series of podcasts to cover subsea technology. These are the Ocean Tech Sessions. I'm Murray Malheush, your host for today, and I've spent over 17 years working in the offshore wind and oil and gas industries with some of the most incredible subsea technologies. And for this first episode, I'm delighted to have with me the founder and managing director of one of the most innovative businesses working in the offshore energy and oceanographic sectors. Among the technologies developed are sensors designed to minimize the environmental footprint of oil and gas by effectively identifying offshore hydrocarbon leaks so that remedial action can be taken. Welcome to episode 1, Andy Smerdon of Aquatech Group.
Hello, Margaret.
So Andy, can you introduce Aquatech, please?
Yeah, sure. So Aquatech is an underwater instrumentation company. And our mission is to get data back from Subsea, the eyes and ears of your underwater assets, if you like, and get that data back to our clients so that they can make decisions on the condition of those assets and manage them effectively.
Great. And, how did you come to set the company up, Andy? What was your background before?
Well, I've been in underwater engineering since the mid-'80s. I studied electronic engineering and underwater acoustics and worked for a couple of different underwater instrumentation companies before setting up Aquatech in 1990. So I've been developing electronics and underwater instrumentation for 33 years now.
Wow, 33 years. You'll be getting, at 33 years, that's a good shift, Andy. I mentioned, Andy, that Aquatech are an innovative bunch. Can you take us through some of the awards that the business has received recently?
Yeah, sure. We've really been pleased to get some good recognition. Most recently, the last 2 years, we've been recognized by the American Society of Mechanical Engineers. And we've picked up their Best Mechanical Achievement Award for innovation for 2 separate products for monitoring both subsea string and also temperature of underwater pipelines. And we've also been awarded the GUH Best Small Company of the Year last year as well. So yes, we've been very pleased with the way things have been going.
Great. So 2 ASME awards, 1 year after the other, and the Global Underwater Hub Award as well. Well, that's pretty impressive. And tell me, today we're going to be talking about your leak log technology. Can you give us an overview of the system, what it does, how it does it, what it's for?
Absolutely. So there's a problem of potential leaks in underwater pipelines, infrastructures, manifolds, hydraulic systems, etc. And this is a great concern, not only to the operators, but also to the environment as well. Even the smallest leaks need to be reported, and they can be causing great damage. So it's in the end user's interests to detect these as soon as possible. And we've developed a comprehensive system of monitoring those leaks using a variety of different technologies that are typically deployed using an inspection ROV to go down and look for those leaks.
And what are those underlying technologies, Andy? How's it done?
So we are quite unique in a way. We have 3 different technologies all combined. So we use sound, light, and temperature as means of determining whether a leak is present. In terms of light, we use the fluorescent properties of a number of different tracers that are used particularly in closed systems and systems under test. So we can detect those with very great sensitivity. And then we also have an acoustic system that is able to detect leaks at high pressure and that don't have any tracers in. So those might be systems of water pipelines or potentially live pipelines with oil or gas fluids in them. And the third technology we have is temperature, where we can measure the rising plumes from pipelines that have a leak, again with live product in.
Okay, well, wow. So that sounds quite comprehensive then. 3 different methods of detecting the leak. You mentioned that it's deployed on an observation class ROV. Is that the only way of deploying it?
The most usual way is observation class or indeed work class ROVs, depending on what their other duties are. It can be deployed by a diver, and we can also put fixed monitoring systems in. So if you have a particular asset that you want to monitor over long term, then you can put our sensors in. We can have some edge computing there to detect if there are changes in the environment, and then communicate that data back to the user using our through water columns.
Oh, cool. So what's the application for that one then? Is that for sort of abandoned infrastructure?
Yeah, one application would be abandoned infrastructure. Another would be potentially live infrastructure, perhaps monitoring the rises on an FPSO, something like that, where you have a potential for leaks to appear, but you have a structure that's fixed and one that you can communicate with.
Oh, great. So basically you would put this kit there and the system would warn you whenever a leak appears. Yeah, cool. Without even having to send an ROV down. That is super clever. So is it unique on the market then with these three technologies? Is that Aquatech's, key selling point for it?
It is, yes. There aren't any other systems out there that are able to deploy all of those technologies. There are systems that use light or they use sound, but nothing combines all three technologies.
Okay, interesting. And what do the results look like to the user? What do they actually see?
Well, the results are displayed in a very simple display. We don't need to send people out to operate this equipment. They get a very simple rolling trace of the background signal, and they can set thresholds so that when a signal exceeds that level, they'll get an audible alarm and they can look and see where that has happened. So a very simple linear display that shows the sort of the levels of background and potential leaks.
And how big is the device? Give us an idea of scale of what we're looking at here.
Well, I have some that I prepared earlier. I've got a few sitting next to me here. So what you have typically on the ROV itself, you have an instrumentation module like this. So this is our data acquisition module, and that will connect to the ROV. It's powered and then has communications with the ROV. That data then gets routed to the surface where the operator can see that either on a PC or it can be overlaid onto the ROV display. And then we have connections to different sensors. And I have some sensors here. So I'll do my work hat. This is our fluorometer. So this is one of the flavors of fluorometer. You can probably see reflecting in there. That's the receiving sensor that detects the fluorescence from the fluorescent leaking material. Then we also have an acoustic sensor and a thermal sensor. So all of these are quite small. They're unobtrusive. They can be mounted in a minette, or they can be mounted elsewhere on the ROV, so to get the best positioning, really.
Okay, that's really interesting. They're actually smaller than I'd envisaged, given the technology and what they're achieving. How about track record, Andy? Have they been deployed in anger?
Yeah, these systems have been in use in the industry for over a decade, in fact, and very widely used. So we know that they've been detecting leaks all around the world. One of the frustrations, of course, is that nobody wants to talk about the leaks. So it's very difficult to get people to come up and say where they're detected, but we know that they're working well all around the world.
Yeah, I'm sure you're just happy enough to get the repeat orders.
Exactly, yes. Yeah.
Thinking about orders, are they only available to purchase?
In fact, we don't sell this technology. It's only available to rent as an inspection suite. Mm-hmm. So you can rent the data acquisition kit software and one or more sensors, depending on what fluids you're aiming to detect. And we provide the guidance to help you choose the best combination. We are also able to put together custom systems that we can sell, which would be used for perhaps fixed monitoring or particularly for like you say, well abandonment or perhaps monitoring something on an FPSO.
Okay, cool. And well, that's quite interesting, isn't it? So only available on the rental market, and is that direct from Aquatech?
You can rent directly from us, but we also have rental partners.
And I mean, you mentioned partners there. What sort of technical support is available to your partners and to the users of the equipment?
So we're able to provide upfront advice on the best choice of sensors, what will be most sensitive for the fluids that people are looking to detect. That's in fact quite challenging. Often the fluids in, for example, sealed hydraulic systems are not readily disclosed by the people who are using them. Sometimes you have to go with a selection of sensors because you may not know exactly what it is you're looking for. But we have a database of different fluids that we can refer to, and we can advise accordingly. And then if the equipment's out in the field, we can provide online support, but also we train our service providers to provide that assistance to their clients as well.
Great. And I take it, Andy, that integration to the ROV is pretty straightforward, right?
It is, yes. There was a time when we would go and provide assistance, but these days it is very straightforward. There's just a connection to the ROV. Typically, there'll be a power supply connection, a multiplexer connection, and then you're ready to go.
Great. And how about software on the top side?
The software at the top side, we provide a PC with the software installed. So you just have to connect up to the output of the multiplexer at the top side and connect up and make sure everything's running. It's very straightforward, yeah.
Andy, you mentioned that LeakLog had been in the market for 10 years. I guess the technology has evolved over that time. I'm keen to know, what's new?
Yeah, the technology has evolved, particularly on the software side, where we're always improving that and looking at integrations with other pieces of equipment. Coming up in the new year, we will be doing some more work on the software interface and usability. Obviously, as Windows moves on, so we're able to do more things with that as well. So yeah, there's some improvements coming.
Yeah, good to hear. And if a potential agent or in fact a potential user of the system would like to find out more, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, the best thing is to contact me or contact Aquatech's General Inquiries.
Brilliant. Great. So look, that brings us to the end of today's episode of the Ocean Tech Sessions featuring Aquatech Group. And it's been really interesting to find more about the technology used to detect subsea leaks in the oil and gas industry. And I'd like to thank founder and managing director of Aquatech Group, Andy Smurden, for joining us today.
Thanks very much, Mark.
And look out for the next episode coming through soon, where we'll have more brilliant subsea technology and innovation to feature.